But I'm with Clemenceau in the second race at Caulfield. Hopefully it's wound up enough to win this race.
Clemenceau really lets down now and storms away the final 100 metres for another very good win. Clemenceau won it from little Stevie Young Liam Ashlaw.
I'm with Point Nepean.
Point Nepean at the 50 takes the lead, is going to dart away, and Point Nepean held on to win it by a neck.
10 the win also on MAMOUNIA.
Mamounia's gripping on for Jamie Carr. Mamounia won it. Mamounia from the Cunning Fox via Endless Ashy Boy.
I'm with NAJMATY in race number 5. Hopefully it can win.
Beneficio gobbled up by NAJMATY. NAJMATY came away to beat Beneficio.
Hello everyone and welcome to our preview of the annual Vobis meeting at Caulfield. The listed Bella Spree Stakes is on this day, but a lot of Vobis races are on, and I can't wait to get stuck into it. Before we get into the first race, I have to show you something.
So I checked back on my strategies that I do on my weekly previews, and I checked back to last year just to see how I went, and I got plus 8.25 POT for the whole year, so that's pretty good. But this year, I've really gone to another level, 21.03 at the moment, so you're winning with me if you're watching my weekly previews. I don't want to jinx it, but everything seems to be going in a positive direction, so let's hope we can keep that going into this week. Race 1 is a benchmark 78 over the 1400 metres. Vasme is the $4.40 favourite, just ahead of Evening Glory at $5.50, $6.50 for Bel Toro and $9.50 for Pal d'Oro. And this was Vasme's last start effort at Sandown on the Lakeside track in a benchmark 64 over 1400 metres, where it led at a fast speed for Josh Richards and won off it. That's what it likes to do. It failed in the Country Mile 2 starts ago on All-Star Mile Day, but that was over the 1600 metres. I think 1400 metres is its ideal distance, and that's what it gets on the weekend. The obvious query on the weekend is gate 16, but I think if Bel Toro doesn't push up to be outside the lead, Vasme gets across pretty easily, and it should be shorter in the market if that happens. Vasme on top, Evening Glory in for second. Obvious little query is 1400 the first time, but it deserves to have a crack up in distance, so I've got it in for second. Mr. Tippler, I reckon's over the odds. First up usually does pretty well. This is its ideal distance, so I think it can run a bit of a race, and Bel Toro for fourth. Vasme in the first. Race 2 is the Vobis Gold Disc Star for the fillies and mares over the 1400 metres, and a short favourite is SIRILEO Miss at $2.30, $4.60 for both STARELLE and also COMICA. But this was SIRILEO Miss's last start replay in the Bendigo Gold Bracelet. Yeah, it dead heated with Foxy Frida on this occasion. It was probably in the best part of the track at this stage of the day, and managed to, well, basically hold on. It finished equal first with Foxy Frida. But it's just so well weighted in this race on the weekend. Gets basically an equal weight to everybody else in the race, and it's the best horse in the race, so that helps. Little query, gate 11, not sure where it gets to, and I think other jockeys will be aware of that and try and push up, but I reckon if it gets cover, it's going to be very, very hard to beat. Got it on top, 20 the win on it. Blistering in for second. Craig Williams rides this over STARELLE, which is interesting. Good last start effort. COMICA in for third, one last start. I missed that. I'm on it this time, and STARELLE first up, but SIRILEO Miss in the second. Race 3 is the Vobis Sires Guineas over the 1600 metres for the 3-year-olds, and TOBAYSURE is the $2.80 favourite, just ahead of Don Diego at $3.70, and Chartres back up the top is at $4.60. This was TOBAYSURE's last start win in a Class 1 at PACADOW over 1600 metres. It didn't beat a lot, but the way it did it was very good. It only won by a length and a half, but it gapped the third horse very well. I just think it's got a map advantage on the weekend over its two other key rivals, which is Don Diego and Chartres. It'll be in front of them, and they should go along at a pretty genuine clip. It can even roll to the front if it wants, and set its own pace. I reckon TOBAYSURE should be winning the Vobis Sires Guineas. I got Don Diego in for second. Just a little query how far back it can get, but its 2 career starts have been outstanding. It's got to go in for second. Chartres got a class edge on probably all of them, so we don't know what it's going to do. It could win, and Blushing Tycoon, I reckon, is over the odds. TOBAYSURE, I reckon, in the third. Race 4 is the Vobis Gold Heath over the 2,000 metres. Ain't No Deal Done is the $2.90 favourite, just ahead of GRANDSLAM, who's at $3.10, $8 for AGNELLI. We're going to take a look at a last start replay of GRANDSLAM at Flemington. It got smashed by Pondus, and Secret Blaze ran over it late. GRANDSLAM was second up here, and it was 1400 to 2000 metres, so may have just needed the run. I reckon third up, 2,000 metres, Murray and Eustace will have it nearly peaking. It won the Alistair Clark by 6 lengths when it was third up, so third up it comes into its prime. From gate 12, if it can get across to the lead and they go sort of slow enough so Ain't No Deal Done can run on, I reckon Grand Slam is well and truly the one to beat. I've got it on top. Ain't No Deal Done, I reckon, needs a genuine speed for it to have any chance of winning, and I reckon Grand Slam should be the favourite, but it's a very good chance. Barry the Baptist ran second in this race last year and follows a similar profile this year, so I reckon it's a good chance, and AGNELLI should be getting a good run for Craig Williams' leaders back. I'm with Grand Slam and the Vobis Gold Heath. Come on. Race 5 is the Vobis Gold Dash over the 1100 metres for the 3-year-olds, and it's a wide open field. Scissor Step is the $3.90 favourite, then 3 horses at $5, Midwest Arcaded and Ice Pink Nick. And we're going to take a look at the last start effort of Ice Pink Nick at the Valley, where it went out hard, slowed it up in the middle stages, sprinted off it and won by 4 lengths. Beat a few good horses here. Zarastro, who I don't think is a Moonee Valley horse anyway, and Able Willie, who's got some potential. But the way it did it here was oh so impressive. It was 2 from 2 on that occasion, so I'm hoping it can make it 3 from 3 on the weekend. It's the first favourite of the day that I haven't tipped, Scissor Step, but I reckon Ice Pink Nick should go to the front again for Linda Meach and prove hard to run down. Scissor Step in for a very close second. Gate 1 just a little query for a big horse. It might need galloping room, and if it gets locked up, it might not appreciate it. That's why I just had Ice Pink Nick on top. Midwest in for third is in a rich vein of form. Jamie Carr on Tick Tick Tick, and Jigsaw can surprise. But I'm with Ice Pink Nick in the Vobis Gold Dash. Race 6 is probably the feature of the day. It's the Showdown for the 2-year-olds over the 1200 metres. It's a $500,000 race. BELLO is the short price, $2.40 favourite, just ahead of Sir Bailey at $4.80. And the 2 favourites come out of this race at the Valley, won by Crosswinds, and Nanagui runs second. BELLO absolutely nowhere to go, and Sir Bailey was pretty good. I'm with BELLO on the weekend. I didn't have it in my top 4 on this occasion, and it probably should have won, although they came home pretty slow. And always beware the horse that has no luck in a race where they go slow late. I learned that from Jules Valance, and he's pretty smart, so I trust him. But I'm with BELLO. I reckon it just has untapped potential, and I can't wait to see it on the weekend. I got 20 to win on it. Don't change him for second. It was a good debut effort. It raced well without cover. It'd be better suited here. 2 each way on King's Consort brings a different form line. I reckon it ran in a Ballarat 2-year-old maiden last start and did pretty well, so I reckon it's a good chance. And Capital Express in for 4th. BELLO and King's Consort the way for me. Race 7 is the Vobis Gold Sprint over the 1200 metres. On this page, the Astrologist is at $4.60. And how about this? Coming down from Sydney at $6.50, it's Shelby 66. And SWATS, that's the favourite at $2.90. This was the Newmarket Handicap of Flemington, a Group 1 assignment for both the Astrologist and SWATS that. And although the Astrologist beat SWATS that pretty clearly, SWATS that gets a 5 kilo weight swing this time in on the Astrologist. And I reckon SWATS that's way better around the bend than the Astrologist. So I'm with SWATS that on the weekend. If it can get back to its Lightning Stakes form from first up, it will be clearly winning this race, but we don't know. Gate 3 also might prove a little tricky, but if it can get clear luck in the straight for Damien Oliver, I reckon it's definitely the one to beat. Second, the Astrologist. We know it will not have no luck. It will do its thing out in front and will try and hold on. We'll see what it does. Shelby 66, I would love to see what it does on a firm track before I can storm into it. But I'd love to see how it goes. And Regards Marie in for 4th. But I'm with SWATS that in the Vobis Gold Sprint. Hopefully it can get clear luck. Race 8 is the Vobis Gold Mile over the 1600 metres, and Juna Pal is at $4 in an open field, $4.80 for Le Chevalier and $5.50 for Adela Moore. But we're going to take a look at a last start Cranbourne jump out of Juna Pal. This was a solid piece of work, and last start it was second up behind Kiss on All for Cheeks at Flemington, and it got galloped on, so it was an inconclusive run. But back first up, it ran 2.5 lengths off Corner Pocket in the Elms, and that was just a prep run. So I think if it's back to its best here, it will be clearly winning this race, but we don't know. I've got 10 to win on Juno Pal, but I reckon if it's not at its best, anything can win. No effort in for second. It'll go to the front, do its thing. John McNeil on is a big plus. Sosibon comes into this race second up and it's got to carry 60 kilos. All little queries, but it's won this race 2 years in a row. It's going for 3 on the trot. And Imperial Lad D-Lane on, good. get. But I'm with Junipal in the Gold Mile. Race 9 is the listed Bella Spree Stakes over the 1100 metres, and Extreme Warrior is the short price $2.15 favourite, just ahead of It's Our Time at $7. But I'm extremely keen on this horse on the weekend. This was his most recent jump out. Extreme Warrior at Cranbourne. It's had 3 jump outs to get ready for this assignment first up, and I've made this my best of the day. Clearly this piece of work was outstanding. It's got outstanding form from last prep, especially first up. From gate 9 it should settle hopefully in the 1 out 1 back position. For Jamie Carr on the 54, everything sets up for it. It should be backed into odds on late, and I reckon it should win pretty easily in the end. Up 45 to win on Extreme Warrior. La Mexicana in for second. I think it'll be outside the leader, giving itself every chance on speed. General Beau don't know where it gets to from the gate, but D-Lane on is a good sign, and It's Our Time in for fourth. I'm with Extreme Warrior to blast out in the last. Hope you have a great day on the punt at Caulfield, and I'll see you next week.